Well, hello everyone. I am back for some more tutorial videos, and it's been a while since I did a music production tutorial video, but I'm very excited for this one because I actually made this beat like about 2 years ago, and I love disco funk style, and I love making that like a K-pop style. And BTS just dropped their newest single yesterday called Dynamite, and it was so similar to what I made previously. And I wanted to walk you guys through to show you guys what I did and to give you guys a tutorial on how to make a beat like this, because this is really hot right now. This type of song is gonna be a trend for a while. I mean, they have been doing more retro things, and in the US pop charts with Doja Cat, Say So, with like Beanie, Super Lonely, this kind of like funk influence are coming back. It's been a while since like Bruno Mars did that, but like JYP, that's my dog. Shh. But JYP just dropped a single also, and he says when we disco, and a couple days later BTS. It's just a trend right now, and I love it because I love this style. So let me give you guys a little preview about how this song sounds like. So I'm gonna do this and show you guys from the beginning. Let's go. It's one of my favorite beats actually. It just feels like, yeah. So this is like, we're starting with the chorus. And then the verse. Very like simple chill in the verse. Letting the top liners just take over this part, you know? Hear that bass? That's actually recorded by a real bassist. And then after this, we're gonna go to the pre. I wanted to give a little change here. And then the build. Back to the chorus. Yeah, so this is the song, and towards the middle I gave a little change in the verse. Yeah, sexy vibes, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, so but I'm gonna walk you guys through what I did. So let's start from beginning. Okay, is right here, the intro. So obviously the key is the main theme of the song. So I'm gonna show you guys first of all the keys. So for intro, I did a little bit of different chord progression than the verse and the chorus. And with this key, I layered. By the way, what am I using here? I believe it was Omnisphere. Yeah, I'm using Keyscape. It's in a G major, and then yeah. So what did I layer here with? The synth. Okay, synth like this really creates a cool funk vibe. You guys hear that? Okay, it's called Stuck in the 80s by Omnisphere. Okay, with this. What I like about this synth is that it gives. Oh, okay. If I use the modulator, it does that little vibrato, and that's been used a lot in funk and disco songs. So that's why I chose to go with that. All right, so with here I layered a pad. Hi, that's my daughter, and that's my dog, and my wife. All right, so like I layer with a pad here, just a pad, atmospheric texture. Yeah, and I have a little sweep here. Another like ambient sound, also by Omnisphere. Okay, Omnisphere has a lot of cool, funky retro synth sounds, so I really highly recommend using Omnisphere because they just have a lot of selection of the sound. When you're looking into Serum, which I use most, is a little more, well, it depends how you make it, but it's a little more geared toward the future stuff. So yeah, I love using Omnisphere more than Serum when it comes to this kind of song. So again, together, and oh, the bass, and everything is filtered. Automation with the filter. But to me, what makes this part really unique and cool is this riser. And actually, this riser is not just a sample. I actually played it in from a Equator Seaboard Rise. I don't have that keyboard anymore. I'm glad I bounced it out though. So yeah, enough of the intro. Let's go on to this part. Okay, this is the part that we're gonna really dig into because it has the whole song is built around this motif. Okay, now let's start with the drums. Okay, so I've organized these drums. Okay, I'm just gonna move these drums up here to show you guys what's going on in the drum world. Okay, so I'm gonna solo the drums. So my point was make it still vintage, still retro type of feel, but put a little bit of that trendy elements here and there to make it feel more fun and more ear candy. But let's just start with the kicks. So it's a super simple rhythm, right? Because we're going boom, ta, boom, ta. I'm just doing that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and I'm layering 2 drums. One sounds like this, which is more vintage sounding, and this one is a little more boom and tight, and together like this. All right. Okay, here's a weird part, the snare part. Man, look how many snares I have. Clap and snare all combined, I have like 7, 8 of them. Why? Because why? Okay, I'm not gonna even explain. I'm gonna show you what I did to create that sound, to stack them and make it fit perfectly together. Is really not easy. So I'm gonna show you guys. I wish there were some more tutorials on how to stack snares and clap. Because even for me it's really tough, and it took me a really long time to get to the sound that I really want. And as you guys are probably producers as well, but man, if the snares doesn't sound good, man, I'm not motivated to go any longer with the beat. So I'm starting with this. This is the low boom fatty snare with high range, kind of vintage sounding. This is a little more mid-range beef, right? And then this is like, it has a little room reverb to it, makes it sound more splashy. What is this guy? This is clap, makes it even wider and bigger. It has a little bit of that flam sounding effect. And with this clap, it's like a little more mid-rangey clap sounding. And on top of this, I've added this clap here. What's interesting about this clap is that you see that? It's not falling right on the beat. Okay, the beat is right here, but the clap is coming a little bit before. That's what it makes the sound unique. And as you guys can see, man, there's a lot of work going on here, right? Not all the MIDI notes are falling right on the downbeat. Why? Because I'm making them sound a little more stereo, but I'm also layering them to sound not like boom together, but like psh, psh, you know? That's why stacking is so important, but also where you put your stacks, the timing of it is also very important. So just by hearing the kick and snare, sounds like just like that. Okay, so now that we have that, we're adding the hi-hats. Okay, hi-hats are always tricky. Because hi-hats are so trendy these days, like depending on what kind of hi-hats you put in there, it's gonna determine whether the song is gonna sound more future or it's gonna sound more dated. For me, I chose a sound that is relatively more trendy, crispy, but not like completely vintage, like retro sounding. Okay, so with this, we have the cymbals. Okay, now here's a fun part. I have a lot of stuff going on right here. And what does this do? These are the ear candy, drum, and percussion rule. So let's see how that sounds like. Feels good, right? Yeah, those are the little fun things that we gotta edit. Especially if it's K-pop, you don't wanna make it boring, okay? So here we have 2 snare rolls, which I'm not very fond of the sound. It was like 2 years ago. Used to be cool, not that cool anymore. But this, I love that sound. It makes it fun, like ear candy. And here I put a fill, bum, or like a toms. So all together creates that kind of feel. And we also have a shaker here. Okay, now what's important is that we add good percussion on top of this. And for me, I chose a cowbell. It's pretty much all funk and disco lovers' favorite. Yeah, you guys hear that? Bum, bum, da-da. Bum, bum, bum. Yeah. And I have another cowbell here. Yeah. Just make the beat more interesting, but don't make it stand out too much to kill the groove of it. So yeah, that's my rhythm section. Okay, now the important part. In any disco funk type of beat, you really want to have a good, groovy, funky bass. And I was lucky to have this guy. He's a producer, he's a photographer, and he's a great guitar and bass player, Hakim. He played for this track. Dun, 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 dun. Bum, bum, bum. Yeah, so I played a MIDI note. I initially had a MIDI bass going on there, and I just posted up on Facebook just for fun. And then Hakim contacted me. He was like, bro, I would love to work on that track. Let me lay down the bass. So I sent him the beat, and then he laid it down for me, and it sounds great. Thank you, bro. Big shout out to my man Hakim. Yeah. So with this, I layered with a synth bass. make it a little more interesting. Okay, and of course, we gotta have the keys. This is from Keyscape, bros. Okay, chord progressions are super important when it comes to songs like these. So the chord progression that I chose for this song is E minor, going to A7, and then C over D and G major. This is like one of my favorite chord progression that I always use for like retro vibe songs. It just feels good, it feels hopeful, it feels chill, you know? So that's the chord progression that I'm using. Now, Dynamite in the BTS, they're using very similar chord progression, going from here, and they're going to minor right here, and then 4 5. So, but I'm using that dominant 7 chord right there. That's the difference. And also, I'm keeping it longer in a chord. 1 2 3 4 1 2. But I think in the Dynamite, that 1 2 3 4 1 2 3, going like that. I personally like holding it longer in the chorus because you can do a lot more top line ideas. It gives room for the singers to come up with something more creative because there's more room to play around with. Okay, so from here we have the funky guitar. I used the Scarby funky guitarist, and then I bounced it off of the I bounced it to audio, but that's how it sounds. And here we also have wow, the wow guitar. Wow. Together. Yeah, even just like listening to this, it feels good. Yeah. Alright, so yes, that's pretty much what I have for the main section. Yeah. Okay, it feels good, right? So let's go to the verse. Very simple. I'm just keeping it the bass is driving the section here, and then after 8 bars. Okay, these are the fun things that we need to have. Okay, you see the transition going to the verse part 2. What I did with keys. And right here towards the end. Pop, pop, bam. That's like the little fun hit that I'm giving, and I'm doing that with the synthetic funk sound here. Yeah, those are the little tiny details that make a song really sound good and interesting. I'm adding the percussions, I'm adding a little bit of the guitar. Okay, and let's go to the pre, because there's a lot that we can cover in the pre section. First of all, there's a chord change. Which is the same as the intro. But the change is that I put this loop for the build to make it more interesting, and I put a large reverb on this to make it more big. Okay, so what's important about sections like this is to have a different chord progression. You don't have to, but for me, I wanted to make this part a little more distinct from the other parts. So in my verses, I had this chord progression: E minor, A7, and then C over D, G major. But here what I did is I'm starting on A minor and then D over E. It's cool, right? And then what is that next? That chord is B minor 7. And then here's the fun part. Yeah, that's the I don't even know what I use. Let me see. I'm not. Oh yeah, I'm using a F major 7. So that's a very unusual chord to use on a G major scale, right? So I want to give a little twist to it. That's why I chose to use that chord right there. Also, there's a little bit of ear candy effect stuff going on here, right? A little ha and it's like the chime, and then again towards the end we have the riser. Yeah. All right. And in the verse 2, as I mentioned, I put a little section here that is a little bit different from the other section. Okay. Instantly, it kind of feels good, right? It kind of feels like groovy, good, and it doesn't sound dated anymore. Why is it sounding like that? Because I added an 808. With this keyboard, I have added the 808s. Yeah. I mean, even just listening to it like this, it sounds really good, right? And if you guys notice, the keyboard sound changed too. I'm using the electric piano on this part, and with the percussion, and of course we need the snap. Some cowbell, and then the guitar, and towards the end we have a little yeah, so little section as a surprise. That's where singers can do something creative. Towards the end, I just did after the bridge is very similar to the pre. I did a little dropout, kind of like uptown funky, you know, like a chant part. And then we're adding the bass. I noticed BTS also does a section like this, and then go back to the chorus. Yeah. So you guys are feeling this song? Yes. So this is all I have for you guys. I didn't go really much into the depth, but I feel like we kind of covered and how to produce a song like this. So I'll be coming back with more tutorials like these. So if you liked it, please make sure to like my video and also to subscribe and leave me a comment. Let me know what you think about the song. What would you have done differently, or what parts did you like, what parts you didn't? I would love to know your thoughts. All right, so till next time, peace out. Later, guys. Yeah. The last hit. Bye-bye.